Good day once again, viewers, and welcome to Naija Pikin. Do not forget to like and hit the subscribe button, and also make comments on how we can improve our videos. Today, we'll be looking at viral infection under immunology. So, this was a topic sent to me to talk about and also make some key points on how we can understand how the virus infects the body and what happens when this virus infects the body. The immune system tends to react to the entrance of a new pathogen, in this case a virus. So how does this come about? What really happens when a virus infects the body, and what exactly happens to the immune system and how it reacts to this particular virus? Before I dwell or go into this topic, I would like to bring a very systematic example that will guide us and tell us what we're about to see when we start actually dissecting this particular topic. Okay, I'm going to give an example. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to use B to represent bandits. I'm going to use P to represent police station. And I'm going to use S to represent soldiers. Okay? So now I'm going to use these three items to give us a bigger picture of what we'll be looking about. Okay? So B for bandits, P for police station, and S for soldiers. So let's say some bandits want to take over a particular area. So when these bandits come to an area, they need to go and take over the strongest part of this area, which I term as the police station and the soldiers. So the bandits have to take over this particular buildings, the barrack and the police station, before they can be able to take over the particular area. So when the bandits come and they have a fight with the policemen in the police station, and let's say the bandits were able to take over the police station. So when they take over the police station, let's say one policeman survived the attack. So this policeman will run down to the barrack and tell the soldiers to get ready and get prepared for the invading bandits. So if they are able to take over the police station and they are able to take over the barrack where the soldiers are situated, then they are able to take over the area. So this is just a little illustration. Now the bandits will be our pathogen, in this case, which is our virus. The police station will be our innate immune response, our innate immunity, while the barrack where the soldiers are situated will be termed adaptive immunity. So when the virus infects a cell, the first response to a viral infection when it affects a host is the innate immune response. So if it's able to take over the immune response of the innate system, it will now mount the activation of the adaptive immune system, which fights the virus back. If it is able to take over this machinery of the adaptive immune system, that is when it can take over the area. That is when the disease or infectivity will take place. That is when the disease will set in. So please, if you understand this little illustration, that is what we want to show on how the viral infection or the virus infects a cell and how the cell is able to fight it back through the innate immunity and the adaptive immunity. Now, follow me and let's understand the bigger picture. Okay, so I told you the first two mechanisms, the two main mechanisms that are able to fight or tackle the entrance of a virus are: one, innate immune response. So this is the first one we're going to talk about: innate immune response and adaptive immune response. So I'm going to talk about the innate immune response in this video. Then in the next video, I will explain what the adaptive immune response is the adaptive immunity. So the innate immune response lasts for 2 weeks. These are key points. The innate immune response lasts for 2 weeks. It lasts for 2 weeks. This is the first response to the viral infection, the virus that enters the body. So now, let's say this is my virus. Now we are going to give you a pictogram, a picture, a diagrammatic illustration of how this thing goes about in the body. So let's draw this as my virus. This is my virus. So the virus is going to infect a normal cell. So all nucleated cells, please write this down. All nucleated cells have MHC1 expressed on their cell membrane. They have MHC1 expressed on their cell membrane. MHC1. MHC stands for major histocompatibility complex. MHC stands for major histocompatibility complex. So when the virus infects the cell become an infected cell. So two things happen when this pathogen infects a cell. When a cell is being infected, two things happen. The first one, the cell stops the expression of MHC1. The cell stops the expression of MHC1. Secondly, the cell becomes in a stressed state. The cells become in a stressed state. And what happens when this cell is in a stressed state? It starts to express stress receptors. Example of these stress receptors, we have HLA-E, we have MIC-A, and we have MIC-B. These are different types of stress receptors. So when the cell is being infected, it becomes in a stressed state. And what happens? It starts to express stress-like receptors on its body. HLA. So I'm just going to use HLA to represent the stress receptor, or mind you can equally use MIC-A or MIC-B. So on the body of the infected cells, we also have FAS. We also have FAS. Now, how does the innate immune response respond to this infected cell? So the first thing the innate immune response does is to produce NK cells. These are the first machinery against any viral infection. NK cells. NK stands for natural killer cells. So, as the name implies, they are able to kill the infected cell. So, on the natural killer cell, the natural killer cells have two receptors. The first one, we call it the killer activation receptor. The second one, we have the killing inhibitor receptor. So as the name implies, the killer activation receptor activates the NK cell to continue doing the killing till it gets rid of the virus under the innate immune system. While the killing inhibitor receptor is able to inhibit the NK cell to stop the killing. But do not forget, before the NK cell is activated to do the killing, they have to bind to the infected cell. On the body of the NK cell, we have the KAR, and we have the KIR. So, and we also have the FAS ligand. Or ligand. So when these two things are bound, because the MHC1 does not bind to the killer inhibitory receptor, so nothing is inhibiting the NK cell to continue doing the killing. Nothing is responsible to stop the NK cell to do the killing. Nothing is responsible to stop the NK cell to do the killing. So it is just activated, but it is not stopping the NK cell from doing the killing. So when these two things are bound, the NK cell now releases two substances that causes the killing of this infected cell. These are the two substances. Number one, we have perforins. Number two, we have granzymes. So the natural killer cells releases these two substances into the infected cell to do the killing, which is called cell apoptosis. Cell apoptosis or cell death. Cell apoptosis or cell death. A question might just occur and you'll be asked, why is the NK cell doing cell apoptosis? Why is it not doing cell lysis? This is the question. Why is the NK cell doing cell apoptosis? Why is it not doing cell lysis? The NK cell is doing cell apoptosis to completely eliminate the infected cell so that the viral peptide in the infected cell do not go into the bloodstream. But if you are doing lysis, lysing means to chop up different parts of the cell. And when you do that, the infected cell becomes open and allows the entrance of the viral peptide from the infected cell into the bloodstream. So you are not taking care of the problem completely, rather you are complicating the issue. So the NK cell has the power to kill this infected cell by eradicating it and eliminating it completely from the body. So that is why it's doing cell apoptosis, not cell lysis. So another word for apoptosis is death, so cell death. This is all you need to know about the innate immune response to viral infection. And do not forget to like and hit the subscribe button. The second video, we'll be talking about the adaptive immune system. After this is mounted for 2 weeks, what now happens? How does the adaptive immune response plays a major or a bigger role on controlling the entrance of a virus into the body? Thank you.